I love seeing some of the eggs that we get from the chickens. I love the brown ones with the dark speckles on them, but this one I was just looking at, it was like, look how round. It's not even it's almost not even oblong. It's so round and fat and so pretty. If you ever have a issue with getting out and looking at your garden enough and attending your garden, put your garden close to your chickens, because every single morning when I come out to feed the chickens, I can't come out to feed the chickens without looking at the garden. So the garden gets attention every single day. And usually when I go out to look at it, I say, oh, pull this weed, pull that weed, do this, need to trim that. So, you know, little things get done every single day because my garden is so close to my chickens. So here's a different view. I usually give you the view from the other side of the garden, but this is what we're looking at right now. And here's something that I don't normally show you. These are our grapevines. We have muscadines, catawba, and Concord grapes growing here. And we've already seen little bitty grapes growing on these vines. Let me see if I can show you some. Yeah. Look at that. See if I can get it to focus. But we're so excited. This is our second year with the grapes. We just planted them last year. So last year we knew we weren't going to get anything from them, and it would just be a little bit of you know, growing season for them. But we're excited to see them come back and to see actual grapes coming on them. So I don't think we'll have enough to actually put anything up, but it's a start. It's so exciting. Our carrots, I haven't shown you the carrots in a while, and they are doing well also, but I really need to come through here and thin these out because they are really thick and they're about the height of being ready to thin. And funny thing about these carrots, I also planted onions, and you can see these little onions growing, bunching onions on the side here. I planted on both sides. No onions on that side, onions on that side. Crazy. It's one of the mysteries of the garden for me is, here's another mystery. Look at the squash on this end of the garden. Look at the squash on that end of the garden. Both planted at the same time. I just don't get it. Sometimes one side will do well and another side won't, and it just baffles me. So I know the cold hit our squash, and we didn't cover them up when it dipped down in the low 40s, 44, 45, something like that. And we decided not to cover them up because we just planted the squash, and we figured if they don't make it, you know, we'll just replant. And so I think that's part of what's going on here on this end of the garden. But the fact that one end thrived and the other end didn't, it baffles me. Here's our newest addition with the peas. They were planted maybe a week ago, I'm not sure. But they seem to be doing well. So we're excited about our purple hull pea harvest because that's the favorite vegetable in the family. This bed of purple hull peas, we're having some issues, and I think I know why. You see how these are all like, they're coming out that way. They're coming out shriveled up. And that's one of the worst plants that we have. This one is kind of bad too, if you can see that. These look okay, but then the new leaves look like they're shriveled up. Same here. We've got some good ones, and then we have these shriveled ones. I think what happened, we have a really windy piece of property. You can tell, I mean, it's blowing right now. And wind is almost always blowing out here. And I believe some of our neighbors, no intentional, nothing intentional to harm us or anything, but it's just a part of, you know, what goes on. But they were spraying some kind of either fertilizer or pesticide. I'm not sure what it was they were actually spraying in another yard, and I think the wind just blew just enough of it over to affect the peas, that because the peas are on the outside of the bed here, so they're right next to the yard. But you know, they're still growing. They should be fine. It's just have a little bit of a deformity in some of the leaves here, but hopefully everything will be fine. I'm really excited about these peppers. They are coming along nicely. There's one little one there. That's probably the biggest one I've got so far. Little peppers here, and several on that plant. And then on this plant, I have, these are the Bonnie Bell green peppers. Can you see? Yeah, there it is. That. There's a tiny baby pepper there, and some more growing over here. So they're doing well. And then the mystery peppers. So I thought I was using permanent marker on the garden stakes with the names, and evidently they weren't permanent because they washed off. And so I have 8 pepper plants here that I know are one kind of pepper plant, and then I have 8 pepper plants over here that I know are a different kind, but I don't know which is which because of the names getting washed off. So we'll just wait and see. But they're both groups are doing really well. So I'm assuming once I get the peppers, I can identify which one it is once the peppers get. But either they're banana peppers or jalapeno peppers. So jalapeno peppers are something that we got from Baker's Creek this year, and I'm not a hot person. My husband has Datil and ghost peppers and Carolina Reapers growing on the back porch. That's his thing. He can deal with all those hot peppers. I'm meanwhile growing banana peppers and jalapenos. So that's our pepper story. I'm excited about what's going on with the Seminole pumpkins. They're starting to show some good growth, and I'm assuming soon they will be spreading and sprouting and growing really well. But they've come a good little ways since last week, since we planted them. And then in this other bed we have our sugar baby watermelons. Not sure where we got that. Got these from, I do know the pumpkins came from Southern Dirt, and not sure where these sugar babies came from. Oh, I did want to give you an update on the ladybugs. So we released the ladybugs. Of course, we did have some die. That's normal in the process. We came out here, we actually put ladybug food out for them. We sprayed the plants with ladybug food. And then I also took each one of these posts that you see right here. You can see where I poured ladybug food on them. So every single corner post and in the garden has ladybug food on it. And we came out here and checked like the next day after we put the ladybugs out, and there were still quite a few here. The following day we came out and we were still seeing ladybugs. As a matter of fact, there was a ladybug on our back door when we got up that morning. And but I didn't notice any ladybugs yesterday, and I haven't seen any this morning. I don't know. I I don't know if they've stayed. I don't know if they've burrowed in some of the wood, because I know they like to make nests in woody areas. Time's basically just gonna tell. I will show you this. So these are our lace wings that we got, and I'm not sure, they're like nematodes, and they were supposed to just be hung on a plant stalk and left to hatch and fly away, fly out. But this is made of paper. So the first dew that came overnight just ripped that, and so I decided to just kind of tuck it under here, under the ground, and leave those there. I don't know if anything has come out of it yet. I haven't seen any lace wings, so we'll see. Time will tell. While I'm here, let's look at the cucumbers, and I see a brand new little cucumber right there. I believe these are the pickling cucumbers on this side of the bed. So that's the first pickling cucumber I've seen. Lots and lots of blooms. But I do have, and then our nasturtiums are coming along quite well too. The marigolds, not so well. This is another case of the, look, that end of the garden, look at the marigolds, just flourishing. This one, I have one. That one, I have two. One end of the garden does well, one end doesn't. Go figure. And they don't always correlate as far as which ends, they don't match. One end doesn't match the other end is what works and what doesn't. Okay, so down the middle here, we have the market moors. And sometimes it's hard, because this bed is so full, it's hard to distinguish which one are which, but you kind of have to trace it back to where it goes in the ground to know what kind of pickle or cucumber, sorry, that you have. But down here, where is it? Hiding. Yeah, that's, I believe that's a market moor, a really nice cucumber. And, oh yeah, another one right there. So excited about the cucumbers that are coming along. And our tomatoes are still doing well. We've trimmed them back significantly, so hopefully we won't have to do much more trimming to them, other than just picking those suckers. That's like an everyday job. I come out here and pick suckers out of the tomatoes, or off the tomatoes. But let me turn this around and show you what we're doing. These are Jet Stars. These are a couple of nice tomatoes. There's some on the other side. This whole bed is Jet Stars here. There's some really nice ones right there. Now we're at the point of just waiting for them to start turning green. I mean, they're already green. I mean red. So those are our Jet Stars down this box. And then here's our Romas. I love these Romas. This is my first year growing Romas. And I love look how they look like they grow in bunches, almost like grapes, and they almost look like grapes kind of. So it's kind of cool. There's another cluster of them. So these are doing really well. There's a nice size Roma right there. And that's a beefsteak on the other side. So this side is Roma, and then the other side over here is beefsteak. Let's see if I can, where was that one? That was peeking through the other side. Oh, there it is, right here. And that's so hard to see. Oh, there it is, right there is beefsteak. Here's a nice beefsteak right there. Pretty. So now it's beginning, we're getting to the, just watch them. You see that one? Watch those, let them ripen. Real quick, here's our banana tree progress this year. These completely lost all their leaves during the cold weather, and they're starting to come back. I'm not sure how long it'll be before we actually get bananas from these, but they're exciting to watch them grow. And our elderberry is the best it's looked since we've been out here. We planted this elderberry about 3 years ago, and it was kind of long and lanky for a little while, but it's finally starting to get some shoots, branches coming off to the side. You can see this here. So we're excited about that. I just saw where Doug and Stacy took their elderberry and took cuttings off their elderberry and propagated new elderberry plants. So when this one gets a little bit bigger, I maybe try doing that just to see what we get from it. But for now, I'm not. Is that a bee? For now, I'm not too excited about that. So that's our garden tour for today, guys. That's week number 6, and things are coming along really nicely. I love looking out here and just seeing the beds full, and anticipation of what's to come. So it's kind of just a maintenance type thing right now. I do have a couple of things potted, sunflowers and corn. Yes, we're still trying corn one more time because I've decided to seed the corn in the greenhouse and transplant it. I've always heard that you couldn't transplant corn or it doesn't transplant well, but because we have these sandhill cranes and they are stinking not being very helpful, I decided I'm gonna try to seed it in the greenhouse, get it a good height, and then put it out here in our ground bed and see what happens. We'll see. We'll see you back here in a week with our next garden tour, give you another update. Until then, do your best and let God do the rest. Bye-bye.